free speech is the bedrock of democracy. And free speech is what allows atrocities to be called out and for people to be aware of them. That's why the Germans wanted to shut down the press immediately. So, anyway, I think we should do everything we can to preserve free speech. And when we lose free speech, I think we lose democracy.
One of the other things that we were talking about earlier, to touch back on it, was the DEI of it. And one of the things that you and I had been discussing a little bit offline is the fact that DEI effectively is a conspiracy theory in which there's a cadre of powerful people who are at the top and they control everything else that's happening. And because those powerful people are at the top, they are exploiting everybody else and they have to be taken down more than one peg. And that conspiracy theory aligns very closely with anti-Semitic conspiracy theories.
Yeah, I think DEI is extremely anti-Semitic at its core. Yeah, absolutely. And it's just generally anti-meritocratic, which I think is very dangerous. You want to have a society where you succeed based on your skills and hard work. And that's it. And it doesn't matter about your race, gender, creed, religion, nothing, Just, are you good at your job? Do you work hard? Do you have high integrity? Nothing more. That's it. Stops there.
And it seems as though, in our society right now, there's an objection to that, but that objection, it seems to me, can only be...
It's crazy.
It can only be sustained if you are tacitly acknowledging that you will not succeed in the meritocracy. The people who are pushing this the hardest are the people
it's patronizing, frankly.
Yeah, I mean, it's essentially making the argument, I'm not succeeding. The reason I'm not succeeding is because no one can succeed. And so it's an argument, to a certain extent, of the unsuccessful, or people who feel as though they deserve more. One of the things that occurs to me is that I'm not sure that anybody, quote unquote, deserves anything other than what your hard work and innovation bring you in life.
Right. I think DEI also, for those who were promoted based on their skills and merit and hard work, it undermines the credibility of their promotion or their status. Was it real or was it DEI? And it takes away the respect that they deserve.
One of the things about meritocracy that I think people forget is that it's the only system ever devised that has positive externalities.
Yeah.
Any other sort of system that you create is going to have negative externalities because you're literally just cronying with X group, and whatever that group is going to get the benefits. And if you're not part of that group, then you get screwed. And meritocracy is the idea that the people who are going to succeed are people who innately are capable of creating for everyone else. I mean, you mentioned earlier how many employees you have. And people will talk about your level of personal wealth, but that level of personal wealth is largely stock holding, and that stock is in companies.
Almost entirely stock.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's not like you're sitting on like a giant wad of cash somewhere. I mean, you are, but not like that. I mean,
it's just when I created the companies, I felt that it was important. Now, in my first company, I didn't have any money. My first internet company, I just had $100,000 of student debt. But that was a company in the very early days of the internet called Zip2. But for all companies subsequently, I basically doubled down. I took the money from Zip2, invested it in X.com, PayPal, and then took the PayPal money, invested that in creating Tesla and SpaceX, because I didn't feel right that I should ask investors to invest if I was not prepared to invest my own money. I think the whole other people's money thing is not right. You want to have skin in the game and put your capital or the capital of the company you're creating there with investors' capital. And as a result of that, I own a lot of shares in the company, and the company, as the better the company does, the more valuable the shares are. But that's because the pie has grown. And so you have to say, like, what's at the root of a lot of the negativity is an axiomatic flaw that the pie is static, that it's a zero-sum game, that if someone else succeeds, it's because they took more than their fair share of this fixed pie. But it's not a fixed pie. Obviously, there's a lot of, now I want some pie. Pie. But obviously the economic pie has grown considerably. from what it was in the past. The output of goods and services, the productivity per person, is dramatically greater than it has been in the past. So when you create a new company and you create new products and services, you are growing the groups. You're growing the bundle, as they say, pie again. You're growing the amount of goods and services available to people. So you've not taken anything away from anyone. You've created something new, and you've given people new products and services they didn't have before. Like we didn't used to have an iPhone. We didn't used to have computers. We didn't used to have cars or be able to fly in airplanes. We didn't used to have many of the life-saving medicines that we have today. These are all new things.
I'm sure you realized how good I look, how well I feel. Well, the very video you're watching right now was something that we just shot over in Poland a few days ago. Most people get sick when they travel abroad, but not us, because we use Balance of Nature. Seriously, I actually saw producer Zach just gobbling those things down on the plane ride on the way back. Balance of Nature fruits and veggies are the most convenient way to get whole food ingredients every single day. Balance of Nature uses an advanced cold vacuum process that encapsulates fruits and veggies into whole food supplements without sacrificing those natural antioxidants. The capsules are completely void of additives, fillers, extracts, synthetics, pesticides, or added sugar. The only thing in Balance of Nature's fruit and veggie capsules are, like the fruits and veggies. Right now, not only will my listeners get 35% off your first order, you'll get a free fiber and spice supplement as well. Balance of Nature's fiber and spice supplement is a revolutionary fiber drink with a unique blend of 12 spices and whole foods. There's never been an easier way to make sure that you're getting your daily dose of fruits and vegetables. Experience Balance of Nature for yourself today. Go to balanceofnature.com, use promo code SEARCH for 35% off your first order as a preferred customer, plus get a free bottle of fiber and spice. That's balanceofnature.com, promo code SEARCH for 35% off your first preferred order, plus that free bottle of fiber and spice.
This is I think this is the fundamental distinction between innovators and business people and people in the free market and the political class. The political class operates almost solely on the basis that the pie is fixed. Because if the pie is fixed, then the way that you get elected is by promising more of that pie to such and such a person. Or you promise that by seizing money from the private sector, you're personally going to grow the pie. And
Yes.
it seems to me if the first mark of a politician you shouldn't listen to is, I can fix all of your problems. And that basically rules out nearly everybody, because it seems like everyone in the political class is into the, I can fix all of your problems, when it seems like what I actually need is people who are entrepreneurial and innovative to solve this problem in front of me,
Right.
so that we can then move on to the next problem that's in front of them.
Yeah, basically, the reality is that that the government is really just a corporation in the limit. Government is the ultimate corporation. It's not different from a corporation, it's just the ultimate corporation. And it's a corporation that is a monopoly, and also it can't go bankrupt unless the country goes bankrupt, and it has a monopoly on violence. So how much more do you want to give to the world's biggest corporation that has a monopoly on violence? Probably less. If you look at, say, countries like East and West Germany or North and South Korea, cases where there's just an arbitrary line that's been drawn, like it used to be one country, arbitrary line is drawn because of a war. What is the productivity difference from one to the other? West Germany had a productivity 5 times greater than East Germany. That's just, and it's not like West Germany was just the sort of bastion of capitalism. They're like half socialist. So even with, so what that means is if they're half socialist and the other side is 100% socialist or communist, then you really have something like a 10-to-1 difference in productivity if something is done by the government or done by the private sector. That's why but I'm not someone who says abolish the government. I just say let's have the government do the least amount, because the less the government does, the more the economy will prosper, because anything done by the government is going to be 5 to 10 times less efficient. But think of the DMV.
I'm trying not to, but yes. If we're going to get out of DEI, what's the best way to get out of DEI?
Well, I think DEI is starting to fade. First of all, DEI is actually illegal because it discriminates on the basis of race, sex, sexual preference, and all sorts of other things. That is actually illegal. So somehow they've managed to get this illegal thing in place. But now we're starting to see a large number of lawsuits saying, no, actually, the law says you cannot discriminate on the basis of sex, sexual identity, and race. So I think I think DEI is on its last legs. It's gonna be removed because it's illegal, actually.